Previously, we defined impacts. We defined impacts as being social, personal, or economic, where social and personal impacts were about people individually or as groups having their opinions, knowledge, or beliefs changed. And economic impacts were concerned with individuals, businesses, organizations, or governments receiving some type of financial or monetary benefit. In this video, we're going to consider the impact of one of the features of a well-known language learning application.
Here at Duolingo, we know that learning a language works best when you practice every day. That's why Duolingo sends helpful notifications to users to remind them to practice, practice, practice. But for some users, we found that's just not effective enough. That's why we're excited to launch a brand new premium feature, Duolingo Push. Since Duolingo can be used wherever you are, now Duolingo Push can remind you wherever you are. Whether you're at the gym, at work, or out on the town. That's right, Duo himself will show up anytime you might be in danger of breaking your streak to give you a subtle reminder. It's the green glove treatment that you've been waiting for, a real-life reminder that you can't ignore. You can choose the type of reminder that's best for you. Encouraging Duo. Disappointed Duo. Passive-aggressive Duo. Sign up today for a free trial to get Duolingo Push and never, ever miss a day of practice again. Not now, Duo. Okay. I'm doing it!
So Duolingo is a well-known language learning application. It has millions of users around the world, and it lets users learn multiple languages. One of the features of Duolingo is the push notification. So if you are about to lose your streak, or if you forget to practice during the day, it will give you a notification on your mobile phone or device indicating as such. Now we're going to generate an impact statement in the form of a SMART goal for that particular feature of the application. So we defined a SMART goal as something that was specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. And we're going to use this format to develop our goal for this particular feature. Okay. So our goal needs to be specific. Who is receiving the impact of the push notification on Duolingo? Well, it's the users of the application. So the person is receiving it. So who is users of the application who are learning a language? Okay. And what impact are they receiving? Well, the intended impact is that, or benefit, they maintain their streak, or how many days they've practiced in a row, consecutively practice, and also to keep them learning, to maintain the learning habit. Also to maintain the learning habit. Because the goal of Duolingo is for people to learn a language, and they learn by continuously doing. Okay, so let's go on to Measurable. What change am I going to see for the users of the application. So essentially, it's a personal impact because we're impacting individual users. How is this measurable? Well, it's measurable by the user streak getting longer. They don't do it for a week, 5 or 6, 7 days, and then they lose their streak and have to start back at 0 or 1. So that's how it should be measurable. It should also be measurable by the habit becoming more ingrained. Habit being more ingrained, so they just do it every day and therefore require less notifications. Fewer reminders. So it's measurable. Is it achievable? Well, the feature already exists. So for Duolingo, the organization, this was definitely achievable. Yes, it's achievable. They could achieve it. They had the technology and resources. So if they were in the planning meeting, they could say, yes, we could be able to achieve this. Is it relevant? Is it relevant to the organization that the users of the application have longer streaks and continue to learn? Yes, it is definitely relevant. That is their core business model. Having people log in every day and do some lessons. So yes, it is part of the core mission of the organization. It doesn't exist for any other reason. It would have been time-based. Yes, they would have said implement in, say, 6 months or something. So now we've got this. This is how we've gone through our specific, measurable, achievable, and relevant and time-based features of a SMART goal. So we can write this as an actual SMART goal now. We can put the pieces together. So within 6 months, you don't have to actually write them in the same order as long as all the pieces are there. Within 6 months, the project aims to increase the average length of a user's streak. Okay. It will be measurable by comparing the average streak length for users in the 6 months prior to the change to the 6 months after. So they're going to do some type of comparison, some type of what's it like now, what's the average streak length, and what's the average streak length after this change has been implemented. And since they're collecting data, they probably also keep track of how many times reminders have been issued. It will also be effective if users require fewer reminders over time. This should benefit users by keeping them on the platform and involved in learning a language. Okay, so that's the SMART goal. Within 6 months, the project aims to increase the average length of a user's streak. It will be measured by comparing the average streak length for users in the 6 months prior to the change to the 6 months after. And we're also going to know if it's effective by them requiring fewer reminders over time. And this should benefit them by keeping them on the platform and involved in learning a language. So people will stay around longer. So that's the SMART goal. That's the impact that introducing a push notification may have intended to have made on the individual users in the application. There may be other impacts that were intended because it is a business. So maybe there was an intention by keeping people on the platform it would increase the proportion of people who paid for a subscription to the platform. Because with Duolingo, you can pay to use the service as well as it being free, but you can pay to reduce the number of advertisements you get. So maybe there was a revenue goal as well. So there may have been multiple intended impacts that were aimed to have been achieved through the introduction of push notifications. But this was just an example how you may write one for a specific project or a specific part of a project, considering a potential user, in this case a person who uses the system.